Joined in studio by Shahiem Ismail. He is the community leader of the action group in Westbury, Newclare, Coronation Ville, Claremont and surrounding areas. Good evening to you, Shahiem, and welcome to your world.
Good evening to you, Paul, and good evening to your viewers out there.
Now, we've just seen in that clip that clearly the issue of violence and gangsterism in areas like Westbury and surrounding areas has been quite a persistent one over the years. A grim weekend again this past Easter. Can you take us through what happened?
Yes, Paul. You know, we had the same situation in December, just prior Christmas time, where, you know, this gang violence surprises the entire community, even the police, that you'll find that a certain amount of youngsters have been killed. In December, we've lost, in the month of December, November, we've lost over 18 youngsters. And on this last month in March, it was quiet after we had those several marches and, you know, peace marches and prayer rallies during the December time. And the place became very quiet. And then at the same time, March, it started flaring up again, where we find 2 at a time, you know, per weekend or so, or even during the week. And up to date, we're sitting with a figure for March and April. I might be corrected from the police stats, that 13 has lost their lives. And I think 8 has been hospitalized, critically shot. And yeah, we are faced with tragedy in that community. And you know, we've done a lot of hard work continuously with the police as a community. We've got representatives from all different community areas around Westbury that sits on this action group. Once a month, we've got a task team meeting that is opened to many people and to organizations to join with the provincial government. We also had a lot of intervention done by the MEC of Safety and Security in Gauteng. And we've been on the shows for many times, explaining ourselves as to what's the situation within Westbury. And I think, again, we've come to a point where, you know, I truly support the community. The march that happened today, one can say it's because people are, you know, they do not know which way to turn anymore. And, you know, we support the call for the army, but will it help us? That's the question. I mean, we've done a lot. A lot of youngsters have been arrested. A lot of firearms have been retrieved by the police. There's a special task team that have been put together by the provincial government, the MEC's office, that are working 24 hours. There's a lot of challenges in that community, and we must be quite clear and honest to everybody. There's a lot of challenges, as the gentleman has just said from the local CPF, Gus, the gentleman that spoke on TV now. That says that one of the biggest challenges for the police and the community is that people are not coming forward with relevant information in terms of when they see somebody shooting or when they can identify the shooters. And even going to court, we need the witnesses to go all the way. Witness cannot just give a statement and it ends there. You need to go all the way to court and help us to get a successful prosecution and get rid of these type of shooters. At one stage, we also spoke to through the media, we spoke to the shooters and to their families to say, please come forward. There's help for you guys. If you feel you are trapped in the middle of this gang violence, or you are a victim of this, or you know people are actually looking to kill you or to shoot at you, please come forward. Come to the MEC's office in the city of Joburg, or even come to the Sophiatown police station. Now, I know a lot of people say they've lost a lot of trust within the Sophiatown police station. We had a march and we asked for the police station to be closed in last year. And after that march, we had massive intervention with the province and even with national government. And a lot of restructuring took place at Sophiatown. And it's our challenge to get our community back into the police station, to start rebuilding the trust within the Sophiatown police station. A lot of trust has been lost over the past years due to gang violence and drug dealing and those type of things. A lot of allegations was also made from the community in several marches that police are corrupt. But up till today, we're still calling upon the community to bring forth evidence where we can find these corrupt policemen and have them prosecuted and get rid of them out of the community and out of society completely.
Let me quickly interject, Shahiem. What do you think is the actual root cause or some of the root causes for the gang violence?
You know, at many stages it's not too clear. Though we make allegations and we suspect it's drug dealing. And a lot of people are saying it's drug related. So I'm not too clear on that one. Even the police are not too clear because, as you heard from the other lady, some youngsters that have done nothing to nobody has been shot. So do we link it with drugs or do we link it with gangsterism? Some innocent youngsters has been shot and killed and lost their lives, which are not even involved in drug dealing or trafficking or even in the violence itself. So it's a difficult situation that we find ourselves in within that community. And you know, it's so difficult that the police even find it difficult to make certain arrests. But I can tell you, and I want to tell the community out there, that the police are working 24 hours. And I'm not going to take their part of sitting here. I don't represent them. I'm not a policeman. I'm a community resident like anybody else within that communities. And we're just merely standing up and sitting and negotiating with them and attending these meetings, which is very important, where we find synergy and we find one another with the police and the community, just to bring that gap close, to say that we must bear in mind, we cannot do without the police. The police is our main source to help us to resolve this violence. And we have asked for additional deployment within the community, and it has been done. There's a lot of additional TRTs. There's a lot of additional other units that are patrolling Westbury right now, and as the shooting has flared up again. So the police are coming to the party. Though they've explained to us it's a very difficult time over the Easter weekend, police have been stretched out throughout the provinces, and I can say that they have made a lot of provision to secure that we get more sufficient police to help us to manage the situation and to bring it back to a certain point of normality, which is very difficult. Our community is very tense at the moment. I know our people are living in fear, as you have seen, and you know, it's not nice to live like that, especially at this time. A lot of people need to go to church. Many youngsters get in their homes early, and in these flats, you know, people are not really safe at all. And we're calling out there, you know, even to the shooters and to those that are behind it. Please, man, let us come to around the table and sit. An offer has been made from one of the major generals of the province that he'd like to sit and talk to whoever feels that they are threatened or involved. And we need to get the parents also to take responsibility of those youngsters that are involved.
Now, earlier you spoke about how in December there were certain statistics of people that were shot and killed, and then it quieted down, and then again in March more bodies came to the surface.
Yes.
What happens during the quieter times? Because it seems like the violence spurs up and then quietens down. What does the community do during those quiet times?
We've never stopped. It's been over a year now that we are, since our last march. It's almost a year now that we've never stopped sitting in meetings with the provincial government, with the MEC's office, and we've been sitting as a community and discussing the way forward. We came up with a lot of loopholes within the community, such as the parolees that are being left at early stage out of the prisons. We found in many cases that ex-offenders were party to certain activities within the community in terms of shooting and drug dealing and criminal activities. So we found a lot of loopholes. We also find a loophole that we are not rehabilitating our drug users. We're not getting them off drugs. So we established through the task team a drug rehabilitation program for free that helps our community. We've also established a relationship with correctional services, which we've signed a memorandum of understanding, of a memorandum of agreement, that we will now be taking directly charge as a community of the parole program, so we can monitor these parolees and we can try to be given the opportunity to assist them not to go back into crime or to go back into dealing and wheeling, you know, and committing devious crimes. So we're finding the loopholes, but I can tell you we haven't been sitting back since we came together to say close the police station. It's almost been a year that we've been sitting continuously in meetings, and you can imagine sitting this time at evening in a TV show or a news show to explain our way forward and where we are. And you know, we're calling upon all those people also today that have marched, stakeholders, everybody. They are welcome to come to Sophia Town Police Station to speak to the station commander and to find out about the task team meetings. We all know one another within the communities. So it's never been a closed door type of or a single type of organizational thing. It's been open for the community to come and say their say and to pave the way forward. We need to get out of this. We need to save lives. We need to stop the killings within our community.
There's a constant call, Shahiem, for people to come forward with relevant information, people that can stand up in court and be witnesses. But how do we reassure people who witness these crimes to come forward without feeling that their safety is compromised?
You know, we've been told by the SAPS and by the investigatings and the intelligence and the task teams that they have made provision for a special type of a witness protection program, which is existent. They have spoken to certain witnesses, but what our people do, they take them into this program And then now people take themselves out of the program, and then they go back into the community. We know there's a lot of fear for people to come forward because they might feel that they will be shot or they will be terrorized and victimized, which happened in many other cases of witnesses. And I think the police did a lot of intervention into that. But there is an existing program, especially that has been set up for this type of violence, where people fear for their lives. So some witnesses has been taken into it and then they brought themselves out. Now we also got a challenge in the community that some people come forward to witness only to make money out of it. And it's not the real witness. They would come forward and witness and then go charge whoever's been charged for the crime. Can I please have 1,000 and I will not attend court, and those type of things. So we've got a lot of people that are corrupting the entire process as we are trying to resolve it. They are corrupting it for the sake of money. And this leaves us in limbo. The entire community and all our efforts are going down the drain. And the other thing that we will not do, we will not give up to continuously fight to bring Westbury and our surrounding communities to a place where we can say we have overcome it.
Now, in the march today, people are calling, or residents are calling for the army to be deployed. How would the army tackle this? What do they envision the army would be within the community to do?
What our people must bear in mind, once again, we need to understand where we are today. We are no longer in those days where we can just call for the army or call for the military or the navy to come and just flat down a community and close off and have this curfews of 5 o'clock, everybody must be in a house, and 10 o'clock, search everybody. Now, the army is not going to help us. We can bring the navy, we can bring everybody in there. We need to work on our communities. That is where the problem lies. It doesn't lie within the police and the investigations and all those type of things. It lies within our communities. Our solution to this problem is our own communities. Our people need to be upright, they need to come forward, and really, if you really saw a crime being committed of such a nature where somebody loses his or her life, you need to come forth. But you need to come forth out of honesty. And come forth and go all the way and make sure that we get a prosecution, to make sure that we safeguard that person from committing another crime or killing somebody else within the community. So the army is not going to help us. And the army also, it's a national call. It needs to go to national government. We are dealing with the MEC's office. We had the MEC so many times on TV and within our communities. The MEC actually said to us as community organizations and leaders that she does not want to sit with us, to have coffee and biscuits. We need to go and work within our communities and mobilize our people to start block committees, to start patrolling groups, to make sure there's enough community visibility, and to start, because we know who the dealers are, we know who these youngsters are, we know we grew up together, we know each and every person, we like one big family. So as a family, we need to act as a family within that community. So the solution to the problem within Westbury and its surrounding communities, basically in any community, even if it's in the Western Cape, it lies within the communities that we need to stand up as a community and say, yes, as much as we're marching and saying enough is enough, but it must also count for us as community to say enough is enough, and we need to stand up firm, especially the men in their homes, take back their homes, especially the mothers. Do not go to the courts and defend your son if you know your son is wrong or your child has committed a crime. If your child comes in the house with a gun, you need to call the police. You need to take him down to the police station. You need to have him arrested. Give the gun to the police. If you know your son is selling drugs, why do you keep the drugs in the house? Why do you keep the drugs? You as a mother, as a parent. Now this is our problems we have. So many adults are involved into this. It's unreal in our communities. But we need to come out bold. We can call all the ministers, the faith, religious-based organizations. We can pray, we can march. It's not going to help us. We can bring the army. We can call for the president to come in, for the new minister. It's not going to help us. What is going to help us? It's for our people to stand upright. What I can say, we will now ask in the next Thursday meeting that we just need maybe more police intelligence in the community. We need more police infrastructure within that area to start working harder and clamping fast on these devious crimes and these shootings and whoever's responsible for this. So we will call to the MEC's office in our next Thursday meeting that we need to see more reinforcement of more police to work within that communities around these shootings. That's all we can do. We can just ask. And we must also bear in mind that the police keep on saying that they are short-staffed and they do not have sufficient staff to deal with all these communities. So as a community also, there was a program at the police station that was launched for reservists. We also need to encourage our youngsters, our matriculants in it, to become policemen, to start policing our own communities. You know how many...
Sorry, Shahiem, I'm going to have to, just as we wrap up, what is your vision as a resident, as a leader of Westbury and surrounding communities? What is your vision for Westbury? What kind of Westbury do you see in the next 5 to 10 years?
I would like to see many more Stephen Pinnars coming from there. I would like to see more Keegan Dollies coming from there, more Mark Plaatjes and more great champions coming from there. Also, in the academic world, I would like to see more Fru Bensons coming out of there. Dr. Fru Benson is our national South African doctor of research, professor of research coming from Westbury. So there's abundance of talent, there's abundance of skills within a community. And my vision is that we should all live in harmony, we should come out clean and start cleaning up our own communities. And one can only do that when there's a sense of unity and everybody works together and we start moving in one direction. And too much, it's not going to help us. But for us to stand up as parents and to say we had enough, if my son does wrong, and we need to go back to the days where my child becomes your child. And not turn a blind eye when I see somebody's child is being shot or somebody's murdering somebody in front of you and say it's got nothing to do with me. That is not the way we need to live. But I think we need to take hands in harmony and move forward. And support our police. We need to support the police. We need to support them, and and whenever there's proof of allegations, we need to come forth with it and rid out corruption. But we must also deal with the corruption within our communities. My vision is that if we can deal with community corruption, we will win this war. Because our communities are a million times more corrupt than the police.
All right, thank you so much.
Thanks.
That is Shahiem Ismail, and he is, of course, a community leader of the Action Group in Westbury and those surrounding areas, sharing his vision for what he sees becoming of the township that he is from, of Westbury. Time for us to take a quick break. We'll be back with more news right here on Your World.